So I finally got the privilege to see Spider-Man Brand New Day last night. And before I kind of give my rundown, this is going to be a non-spoilers review of my take on this movie. But also to give you preface, this is a brand new channel. You kind of guys don't know me, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of, how I feel about the entire Spider-Man franchise, Spider-Man as a character, how I grew up and etc. That'll be very quick. I'll cliff notes it. So, of course, I grew up in the 90s. So I was watching Batman animated series, X-Men animated series, and the Spider-Man animated series, all goated animated series. I absolutely love Peter Parker. I love the entire universe that Spider-Man comes from. I love his entire rogues gallery. I think literally outside of Batman, Spider-Man has probably one of the best rogues gallery of any superhero, in my opinion. He has some amazing, amazing villains to fight. So all that being said, I grew up watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I absolutely love all three of them. I think the third one is super zany. It's bad, but honestly now it's bad in such the best way possible. Like I actually really don't mind it as a film at this point. I remember when it first came out, I thought, oh my God, this movie sucked. But I think as time went on and the more I've like run it back, it's like I kind of appreciate its terribleness in that sense. But the other thing too is that when it came to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, I thought, man, how misplaced the writing was when it comes to Spidey. But I really loved Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, as Peter Parker. I think he was a way better Spider-Man than a Peter Parker. But I really, especially with Toby being such a huge presence and just amazing writing, amazing movies, amazing stature as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The comic accuracy of the movies just it's hard. It was hard to follow that, right? And so Andrew Garfield I thought did very good. And again, even Amazing Spider-Man 2, which at the time I thought the movie was pretty bad. And then, of course, over time, it's like I kind of appreciated it. I kind of do like the film. I don't think it's a badass film by any means, but I think there was a lot of intention there, which leads me into Tom Holland's run since, what was it? Captain America Civil War. I am not a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. You may click off already right now if you are a huge fan of him. I think the major problem that has happened with Tom Holland's Spider-Man is Sony and Marvel. Because when it comes to their agreement in having Spider-Man in the MCU, Sony ultimately holds the ultimate control of the universe and his characters and the villains and everything. Marvel's having to work with Sony when it comes to all of that. That to me has been one of the greatest annoyances of this entire, since Homecoming all the way till now. So I was not a fan of making Spider-Man, Iron Man's sidekick. I think it could have been handled a lot better. I think they've undermined him not only as Peter Parker, but also as Spider-Man. I mean, he was literally Spider-Boy. And I was not a fan of how they did MJ. I was not a fan how they have not introduced Norman Osborn or Oscorp really yet. The fact that we don't have J. Jonah Jameson. The fact that his entire, photography is not there. The fact that his entire brilliance is completely undermined by other characters, which again, I understand him being in the MCU, but that's like having Tony Stark needing Reed Richards for help. Like they're both smart on their own regards. And I think I would have loved to have seen Tom Holland's Spider-Man stand on his own. And that's been my biggest thing with this entire universe. So I really liked No Way Home. I think No Way Home was ultimately the best, but it was only the best out of the trope of bringing back Andrew Garfield and all of the villains of old, basically. I think if they'd done anything else, I would have thought that it was going to be a mid movie, just like the way Homecoming and even Far From Home was. I was not a fan of either of those films. I think they were both mid. I don't think they were bad films, but I just think that they were very mid. And it's such a shame because you, of course, bringing back like, Michael Keaton as Vulture, which I thought was a really awesome casting of the movie. It didn't, there's so many things about this thing that didn't work. So now let's go into Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man Brand New Day had amazing Spidey action. That's what you keep hearing over and over, and that is definitely hold true. But the biggest thing that I felt very deflated was that if you watched all the trailers or any of the trailers that are going on, you basically have seen all the best action beats. All of them were spoiled in the trailers, which was very disappointing because I felt like there were some that they didn't show in the trailers, but I think by and large, all of the best action beats were literally all shown in the trailers. So, where do I even begin? I'm still trying to think of all the good points. I think Tom Holland as Spider-Man in this, and him actually being like a ground level, like doing all of the villains for the past couple of years. I think it's like 5 years since then. What was good, but now I really have to get into all of the things that really annoyed me about this film. We literally sidelined all of the Spider-Man villains. Like Scorpion was literally a joke. What was it? Tombstone was a joke. Like he was literally on screen for 2 seconds. Boomerang was on screen for 2 seconds. It was like we basically just montaged like Spider-Man like saving the day. And it's like, okay, cool. We got little cool cover shots of like comics from this movie. But outside of that, there was nothing substantive that any of these villains did, which leads me to, I think one of the biggest things was, of course, the main villain. And without really giving this as a spoiler, but honestly, everybody knows. It really isn't even a spoiler at this point. Jean Grey being the main villain of this, I had so many issues with on a lot of different levels. I think ultimately this was called Brand New Day. And maybe I probably went in with expectations because I was thinking to myself, we literally just end capped, with No Way Home, everybody forgetting who Peter Parker is. Ned doesn't know Peter anymore. MJ doesn't know who Peter is anymore. And I thought maybe we can literally start over, hence Brand New Day. Maybe let's introduce him actually having a friend of some kind, right? It's been 5 years, okay? Why wouldn't we introduce Norman Osborn at this point, right? Why can't we introduce either a real Mary Jane Watson or even a Gwen Stacy or literally anyone else? But then we really just have, Peter Parker / Spider-Man talking on the phone with like a cop. And that's the extent of the people who he talks to, like outside of like Frank Castle as Punisher. Like what? Like it just, to me, I find it very, very, very hard to believe that Spider-Man would literally go through and not try to like move on in a sense, you know what I mean? And I know it sucks, but it's like the way they handled the entire Ned and MJ thing in this movie, it felt so like we're either not ripping off, but we're either like ripping all the emotionality that happened in No Way Home, which why would you do that? Right? This literally feels like, to me, almost like Toy Story. I've been watching a lot of Toy Story. I have kids, okay? But Toy Story 3, it ends with beautiful ending of Andy giving his toys away, but Andy was very reluctant in giving Woody away to the little girl because he wanted to keep Woody. The little girl was like, "Oh, but I want Woody, like Woody, like I want the cowboy." Then in the next movie, it literally has her like sidelining Woody and not even playing with him, and it's like, okay, like what are we doing here? Like, even though it may be realistic that a kid might do that, like, why would you do that? And this is why I'm so frustrated with this. It's like, why wouldn't you just like, again, I don't mind them being there, right? But Peter trying to convince him and trying to like do all this stuff like in sense of like trying to befriend them again. It's like, what are we doing? We're literally undermining everything that happened in the last movie. And I know people kept on saying this is the most emotional Spider-Man movie yet. I don't agree. I literally don't. Like I think it was the emotionality to me was already all deflated. I didn't really, I felt more frustration than emotion in a lot of these scenes that were supposed to be emotional. It just, a lot of this film, in my opinion, just didn't work. It didn't work for me. And the thing is I think this movie, in my opinion, is an amazing normie movie. If you are a normie and really don't understand or know Spider-Man or Peter Parker from the comics, or maybe you just know very surface level stuff, I think this movie would be like super enjoyable for you. And if you are a fan of Tom Holland from any of his movies, then you might really love this film. And I can see where the appeal is. But for coming from someone like me who already wasn't a fan of him in the past three movies, as far as Tom Holland's character, and I think Tom Holland, I think he could have played a great Spider-Man if he was written better. I think the writing in the MCU has been compromised because of the agreement between Sony and Marvel. I think ultimately that's really what it is. But then, okay, let's go into the writing of, you know, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, right? So, I mean, who knows what it really is? But to me, I guess the other part, you know, and this is something too, is like, you know, Spider-Man's brilliance, right? Is the fact that he has to like ultimately go to either AI and helping assist him. He has to go to like Bruce Banner and helping assist him. Like, it really bothers me because it's like I kind of want Spider-Man to do shit on his own, but given the day and age we live in, it's like it wouldn't be realistic for him to do that. But it's like coming from the old comic books and the old shows that I used to watch, it's like I think that's where I kind of hold a lot of regard from. And I don't like how, again, this is why I don't like the side characters, even MJ or Ned, because they're also literally equally as smart as Peter Parker. What? Like, that's what I get ultimately annoyed with, is the fact that even in this movie, he's undermined by, oh, MJ's let's have MJ figure something out instead of Peter. Just like how in, you know, Homecoming, in the very first movie, it's not Spider-Man, Peter Parker, that hacks into Tony's suit. It's Ned who does it. Like, are we just not going to make Spider-Man smart? Are we just not going to, like, have him be like, you know, on this in the Smart of Titans, like amongst the people like a Tony Stark, like, and again, it's like, I know he's not there initially, but dude, Peter Parker is a very brilliant dude. Like he is in the comics. He is a very brilliant person for the day and age, and for also how young he is at the time as well. So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't work for me. I think ultimately, like, I want there to have been other things. I wanted, honestly, like, especially, and this is something I probably built in my head that, again, I probably shouldn't have done, but I was really thinking Kingpin was going to be in this because of Daredevil. And I thought, finally, like, Kingpin is like one of like the big villains of Spider-Man. And I really thought, like, oh my God, it wouldn't have been so cool to have like Kingpin in this. And I'm sorry, I'm not really trying to say spoilers. It's just, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just hard. Like, when I was watching it, I was just getting so annoyed with like the story that I tried my best to, um, I think this is a movie for me. I watched once and I probably will never watch this movie again. So let's go into what I would rate this. So everybody rates things from 1 to 10. So do I, but I'm going to tell you how my rating of 1 to 10 works. Okay. So 1 to 4 is bad. A 4 out of 10 is like, I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. A 3 is like I really didn't like it. A 2's like I really didn't like it, and 1 is like the absolute hated of the film, which I rarely ever do. A 5 is neutral. 5 is I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. It's just like a mid movie basically. It didn't move the needle in one direction or the other. A 6 is I liked it. You know, 7 is I liked it a lot. You know, and then I'll going all the way to 10 is absolute cinema. You know, honestly, for me, I would really have to rate this movie a 5 out of 10. It's a very mid movie to me. It didn't really move the needle, and I think the things that the movie did do good, there was so much bad pulling it that it could have been maybe a 6, possibly a 7, but because of all of the things that really drove the movie, there was so many pointless scenes in this movie. This movie was, I think, almost 25 minutes too long. It could have been a very tight, like 1 hour, 50-minute movie personally, and been, I think, way better structurally, but even the overall narrative, I couldn't, it didn't work. Like it didn't work for me. But I think even if you were to take 25 minutes and shaved it down, I think it would have worked really well for the normie and not having to sit through a very long film. And it could have probably possibly made even more money because of how much shorter the film was. So I would say for me, it's a 5 out of 10. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, but it's a one-time watch and I'm satisfied. I've seen it. I don't need to watch it again. So that's kind of my review, guys. Hopefully I didn't give away too many spoilers, but I mean, it's like a lot of the stuff people already know, right? So it is what it is. But guys, what did you guys think of Spider-Man Brand New Day? Did you guys really love it? Did you hate it? Like, what were the things that annoyed you about the film? Please let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.